A property can be a good rental and a bad renovation. It can be a strong resale opportunity and a weak long-term hold. Sometimes the smartest decision is to pass on it completely. Beginners assume every property has an obvious exit. They pick a plan, then force the numbers to support it. Experienced investors do the opposite. They study the property, the market, the financing, and the risk, then choose the exit that fits the facts. In this video, I'll show you how to decide whether to keep a property, renovate and sell it, or walk away before you commit money to the wrong plan. When you find a potential deal, it's easy to get attached to one outcome: your first rental, a renovate and resell project, or whatever strategy someone told you was best. That attachment distorts your analysis. You start asking, how can I make this work as a rental, instead of, does this actually make sense as a rental? You ask, how much could I make if I flip it, instead of, does the market support the renovation, the timeline, and the risk? The property doesn't care which strategy you prefer. The numbers either support the exit or they don't. Let's continue with the property from the previous videos. A 3-bedroom, 1-bath, about 1,450 square feet, no garage, an older roof, water damage, an outdated kitchen, a dead heating system, and electrical concerns. After inspections and contractor estimates, the repair budget rose to about $78,000. The likely completed value is now closer to $268,000. And the revised purchase price under discussion is $102,000. That still looks attractive at first glance, but whether it's a good deal depends entirely on what happens after you buy it. I wouldn't start by choosing an exit. I'd test several outcomes: sale price after repairs, a rent, cash left invested, monthly expenses, a timeline, capital exposed, downside if the market softens, and whether it fits my experience. Then I'd compare every exit using the same conservative assumptions. Exit 1. Renovate and sell. This works when the completed value is well supported, the scope is clear, and buyer demand is strong, and the project runs efficiently, and the projected profit justifies the risk. Let's cover the projected resale outcome. Purchase is $102,000, buying cost is $5,000, repairs $78,000, holding $12,000, financing is $13,000, selling costs are $21,500. Your contingency is $7,500, so the total cost is $239,000. The expected sale price of $268,000. Projected profit before taxes is $29,000, and that looks reasonable, but it's not the whole story. If you sell for $258,000 instead, that profit drops to $10,000. Add another $8,000 in repair overruns, and the margin gets thin real quick. But a resale project needs room to survive normal mistakes, so don't compare exits using the best case result for each one. Use cautious assumptions across the board. If the renovation only works at the highest sales price, the fastest timeline, lowest repair cost, it's not a strong plan. Download the free Seminar Survival Guide in the link in the description below. It helps you spot when optimistic assumptions are used to make a strategy look safer than it actually is. Now back to the deal. What makes a strong resale? Clear buyer demand, a predictable renovation scope, value supported by recent comps, margin that survives cost or price swings, and manageable timelines. A layout or features that match and what local buyers expect. Our example has one weak spot, a single bathroom. If buyers in that price range expect two, adding one might help resale, but it also eats into the repair budget and the margin. You need evidence the upgrade pays for itself before you count on it. Exit 2. Keep it as a rental. Base this decision on income, expenses, finance, reserves, and long-term risk, not on the fact that you don't want to sell. Say comparable renovated units rent for $1,900 a month. $22,800 gross per year. After realistic expenses, taxes, insurance, vacancy, maintenance, management reserves of roughly $9,500, your net operating income, or NOI, lands near $13,300 a year. Now compare that to financing. Holding the property costs about 204.5. If a lender offers 187 refinance, you have roughly 17,500 of your own capital left in the deal. If a new PITI payment runs about 1,580 a month against 1,900 rent, you're left with 320 a month before vacancy, maintenance, management surprises. It's thin, even with a new roof and heating system lowering near repair risk. Here's your insider check. Whenever someone says a rental cash flows because rent beats the mortgage payment, ask what got left out. Rent minus mortgage isn't cash flow. You still need vacancy, maintenance, management, taxes, insurance, repairs, and reserves. A property that looks like it clears 500 a month can produce almost nothing once those are counted. What makes this a strong rental? Real tenant demand, a complete expense picture, cash flow that survives debt service, reserves, manageable workload, durable systems, and financing that doesn't eat most of the outcome. This property might work under better terms, but don't assume those improvements. Analyze the terms you actually have. Exit 3. Sell without a full renovation. There's often a middle path. Clean up, fix safety and major system issues. Do limited cosmetic work and sell as is, often to another investor. That cuts construction risk, holding time, and market exposure, usually at a lower sales price. Say the property sells as is for about $155,000. Add buying costs at $5,000, cleanup and critical repairs at $8,000, holding and financing at $4,000, and selling costs at $10,000. To the $102,000 purchase, the total cost around is $129,000. That's a projected margin of about $26,000. Close to the full renovation profit, but with far less time, capital, and construction risk. Comparing return on time and capital. Your full renovation, your profit was about $29,000. Your exposure was $200,000 plus. Your timeline is 8 to 10 months. High construction complexity, limited work and resale. Your profit is $26,000, exposure $129,000. Your timeline is 2 to 4 months. Low complexity. $3,000 more profit isn't worth double the time and exposure if a faster exit frees your capital for the next deal sooner. The highest gross profit isn't automatically the best business decision. Now, exit 4 is pass on the property. Simply walk away when no exit produces an acceptable return. The risk exceeds your experience. Financing is too expensive. The market is weakening. There are title complications. The seller won't move. Or a better opportunity exists elsewhere. Passing isn't failure. It's a valid decision. Analysis exists to determine whether buying is justified, not to talk yourself into it. For each exit, ask the right questions. Renovate and sell. Conservative sale price, full cost, timeline, capital, what could go wrong? Rental, verified rent, real expenses, available financing, cash left invested, monthly cash flow, required reserves, limited work and resale. Necessary repairs, realistic as-is value, a likely buyer, selling cost, speed. Pass. Is the margin too small? Are the assumptions too optimistic? Is the capital better used elsewhere? Now keep your assumptions consistent across all four. Don't use a conservative value for one option and an optimistic one for another just to make your preferred strategy win. Back to the example. Full renovation nets about $29,000 but carries high construction risk, a long timeline, and heavy capital exposure. The rental clears roughly $320 a month before real expenses. It's thin, with a large capital commitment and ongoing management. Limited work and resale nets about $26,000 with a shorter timeline and less risk. Passing means no exposure at all, keeping capital free for the next deal. The limited work and resale looks like the strongest option here. The full renovation's extra profit probably doesn't justify the added time and uncertainty, and the rental is weak under current financing. Passing stays reasonable if the as-is repair or value scope can't be verified. My final call depends on how confident I am in each number. If $155,000 is backed by real buyer interest or solid comps, I'd lean toward the lower risk exit. If it's just an opinion, I'd verify it first. I wouldn't choose the full renovation just because it shows the highest sales price. I'd choose the exit with the best risk-adjusted return. Now, deciding the exit before analyzing the property You have to compare gross profit alone without the time, capital, and risk. Assuming refinancing works as planned, ignoring rental expenses, rent minus mortgage, isn't cash flow. Over renovating past what the local market pays for, refusing to sell because you wanted a rental, or refusing to pass when the numbers say pass, changing the exit after closing without having tested it first. Analyze several exits before you buy. Use supported values and rents, include every expense, and compare profit against time, capital, and risk. Test conservative outcomes, verify real financing terms, and account for management reserves. Don't force your preferred strategy onto the property. Choose the exit that fits it, and walk away when none of the options meet your standard. A property isn't a deal because it can be bought below some future value. It's a deal when a realistic exit produces an acceptable return after cost and risk. Now, before choosing an exit, ask, which option has the strongest evidence behind it? Which requires the fewest optimistic assumptions? How much capital stays exposed, and for how long? What happens if the market weakens? Does the return justify the work and the risk? Am I choosing this strategy because it fits the property, or because it fits the story I want to tell? Those questions keep emotion and sunk costs from making the decision for you. We've now taken this property from the original seller conversation through repairs, valuation, maximum price, due diligence, renegotiation, and exit selection. Next, I'll put the whole process together in a complete real estate deal breakdown from lead to decision. Every number, every decision, every point where the deal could have failed. Watch that video next. In the meantime, download the free seminar survival guide using the link in the description below. It'll help you spot simplified numbers and one-size-fits-all strategies used to sell expensive real estate education. And as always, subscribe to Seminar Insider for practical real estate education without the high-ticket seminar pressure.